Okay, I think we will start. Thank you everybody for joining us, all our guests and our two speakers. I would like to please say a few words what we are going to talk about, and then I would like to introduce our speakers or panelists, whatever. And then we will ask some questions, and we'll try to by the end of this webinar, 10 minutes before the end, we will open it for questions. Everybody is invited to write if you want any questions. We have our team of Nogaplus who will help us collecting these questions, and we will leave, as I said, to the end. So, first of all, what we would like to do is to talk about what Latin American multinationals, big companies, are looking in Israel, what they are looking for in Israel, how the Israeli innovation can help them optimize their processes, their products, their or even their local ecosystem. Among our panelists, we have Sofia Machuca. Sofia, can you raise your hand? Okay. And we have Daniela Talamantes, sorry, Sofia Machuca is from Axtel, and Daniela Talamantes from Grupo Bimbo. Okay. A few words I will say about each one of you, and then we'll start. Sofia is the head of Open Innovation Manager at Axel. She managed an accelerator or a program called NAVE. I hope you can be able to tell a few words about it. And I understand that you have been working for a lot of years on these areas of innovation in Mexico. So you are, you know, this theme. From the other hand, we have Daniela Talamantes from Grupo Bimbo. And Daniela is the head of scouting for Grupo Bimbo. He's our partner in Israel, and she's part of a unit called Bimbo Ventures. Okay, let's start with Daniela. If you can give us a little bit more background about you and about Bimbo Group.
Of course, thank you, Rina. Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here with you. I'm not sure how many people in the audience are from Mexico City, but I will try to make a brief context about who Grupo Bimbo is. I am a Mexican. I have been working for Grupo Bimbo for over 9 years right now in different global corporate departments with different roles and responsibilities. And since August of last year, I am part of a global corporate department called Bimbo Ventures. And from February of this year, I landed here in Israel, and I am based in the country with the main objective, with two main objectives actually. One is to first understand the innovation ecosystem of the country, and the other one, it would be to scout for new technologies. So with that in mind, I think it would be a good idea for me to share a couple of slides. I don't know if you can give me the chance to share.
You can do it. Try now.
Thank you. I would like to share some slides regarding Grupo Bimbo, because I think it is important to understand the company itself. First of all, Grupo Bimbo, it's a Mexican company. It has been around for like around 75 years. And it is still, until now, a family-owned business. It is a public company, so it is quite a pride that a family-owned business company, it's a private and it's this big, right? So we are the largest baking company in the world with more than $16 billion of sales each year. We have presence in 33 countries. We have 196 plants, and we have a bit more of 137,000 associates around the world. And it is important also to remark the leadership that we have had over the years. In the beginning, we started with Don Lorenzo Servitje, who is until now, I think, one of the icons of the leadership in Grupo Bimbo, and the culture that he deployed into the company until now. I think it still remains, and that is something remarkable for the company. Then it came his brother, who is Don Roberto Servitje, and I think that with Don Roberto, the greatest accomplishment he began to do was not only to organically grow the company, but also to invest, to act as an angel investor in certain companies, Mexican companies that helped that helped Grupo Bimbo to pursue their main objective of build a sustainable, highly productive, and deeply humane company. And then in 1997, Daniel Servitje took the leadership of the company and is until now the CEO of Grupo Bimbo. With Daniel Servitje, I think the main objective right now is that he globally expanded the company, okay, and not only growing the company inorganically, but also organically as well. And I think that our main brands right now, this is a visual slide for you to see more or less what type of brands we sell around the company. We mainly make packaged bread, but we also do salty, sweet snacks, confectionery, sweet baked goods, cakes, tortillas, cookies, right? So I don't know if you identify some of the brands that we have, but these are more or less the ones, right? And this is our global footprint, okay? We are mainly in the whole Latin American continent, okay? And we have nine countries in Europe, 3 in Asia, and two in Africa. So this is more or less what I wanted to share with you in terms of the context of the company. Would that be okay, Rina?
Yes, great. Thank you very much. Sophia, can you tell us a little bit about Axtel, the company, what they do, who you are, in a few words?
Yes, sure. I don't know if you want me to put a slide or just talk about it.
If you have 1 or 2 slides, it will be okay. Whatever is the better for you.
Okay, let me put it quickly. Just a second.
Okay, great.
Can you see me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I come from Axtel. Axtel is one of the main ITC and telco companies in Mexico. It's one of the second largest for the B2B market. We just offer services to the B2B to the enterprise segment. In previous years, we also offered for home, but 2 years ago, we sold that business. Right now, we have around 4,500 employees. 3 years ago, 2 main companies, Alestra and Axtel, merged to do this new company called Axtel with 2 brands, Axtel and Alestra. We are part of Alpha Group. Alpha Group is one of the main conglomerates of businesses in Mexico. they have 5 companies: Axtel, that is telco; Alpec, that is petrochemical; Nemac, that is aluminum auto components, like the motor heads for the vehicles; Sigma, that is really big for refrigerated food, like yogurts and different hams, cheeses, etc. And Impact hydrocarbons. As you can see, it's all around the world. Also, Axtel, it's a Mexican company. We're just in Mexico and in some parts of the US, but other companies are around the world, in Europe, mainly in North America and South America. Here's a bit about the strategic evolution of Axtel. We started more than 25 years ago when the long distance market started. And then we started moving to value-added services and IP, then voice and data, like WAN and LAN services. Then we started entering more cloud solutions, FTTX, and large-scale solutions. Right now, we're very oriented on IT, cloud, data centers, cybersecurity especially. That's why we're looking a lot for ISPRO. And we're mainly a tech company helping companies as Bimbo and other corporates around Mexico with their IT strategy.
Great.
I don't hear you.
Okay,
anymore.
thank you
I
very
can
much.
speak more, but I think we're limited on time.
Yes, it's only to have an idea of the company, so our the people who are hearing us will understand, especially the not Mexican and Latin Americans. Okay, so let's thank you very much. So let's start with my first question. Is a question to put out us into context, is regarding innovation in the companies. Danny, we started with you. Can you say a few words about what kind of innovation programs or processes do you have in your company? And then from there, we'll go to the more Israeli issue. Danny, we can't hear you. Can you put your microphone, please?
Sorry. Yes. So Bimbo has always been trying to continuously improve its processes and the way things are done, and obviously its products. So we do have a very specific innovation methodology that is focused more in terms of how to continuously innovate the products that we do. That is one way of we have been innovating all throughout these years. However, since 2015, more or less, like around 6 years ago, the steering committee began to notice a big change globally in terms of what was happening outside the company. A lot of things that had to do with very disruptive technologies. And disruptive technologies coming all the way from the raw materials that we buy to the end consumer, right? So what they started to think is that they needed to have the capability to have an eye outside of Grupo Bimbo, okay? Trying to identify what kind of companies, especially startups companies, were creating these disruptive technologies that were important for us to try to pilot the technology so we can use them with the aim of not only leveraging our processes, but also to help those companies that were beginning to grow and to scale up their businesses. So that's when actually Bimbo Ventures was born in Grupo Bimbo. So since Bimbo Ventures started to grow, they started to understand how was the innovation ecosystem in Mexico at the beginning, but then it started to expand to Silicon Valley and United States and Canada, and then all the way to Latin America. And we have not only created these strategic alliances with a few venture capital funds in the United States, but also one in Europe that give us also this capability of having a completely vision of what is happening in Europe in terms of innovation. But then within Mexico, we developed two main innovation processes. One is our accelerator that it's called Eleva. Eleva, it's an accelerator that is just focused to Mexican companies. And we, at the moment, we have accelerated like around 80 companies since the beginning of Eleva. And then we expanded that accelerator into Chile, to South America. So actually last week, 2 weeks ago, was the selection day for, we are going to try to accelerate 9 companies from Chile, from Colombia, from Peru, that was part of this whole acceleration program that is just for South American companies, okay? And we also do hackathons inside of the company.
Okay, thank you very much. Sophie, can you say a few words about also what your innovation program processes that you have in the company?
Sure. We have an area of innovation at Axtel that has 3 sides of it. One is internal innovation, in which we have an innovation hub. We work with different methodologies as design thinking, lean startup, we work with Agile and other like innovation methodologies. We have an ideation platform in which the employees can enter their ideas and work new innovative solutions. Then the second part of the program is the open innovation that I manage. We usually identify the pain points of the business and of our main customers, and we go out the world to find startups and scale-ups to see, to help us solve these main problems in the company. And we also sometimes work with different methodologies. And specifically for our NAVE program, we have, this is our 5th year of the program. We started more with early stage startups, and now we're more working with scale-ups. And during the program, we help them pilot their technology and also visit 5 customers it serves like a soft landing program in Mexico. So after the program, we help the company to land in Mexico and do a partnership with us to serve the Mexican B2B market. And the third part of the innovation strategy in Axtel is called Alestra Labs. There's several data scientists and several software engineers that help create these new solutions for pain points also of our customers and of us. So we work with startups, with internal labs, and also with different platforms to help us solve these problems.
Okay, great. Very, very interesting. Okay, so now what I will say that also Grupo Bimbo and also Axel is working with Nogaplus, and we are an Israeli company that is introducing our clients into the Israeli ecosystem. We are doing open innovation programs. We are doing scouting. We are trying to do to make the best of Israel connected with Latin America. So in this context, we are talking with 2 of our customers. And I would like to ask you, let's start with you maybe, Sophia, this time. For specific, what are your company is looking into the Israeli ecosystem, and why you decided to work with the Israeli ecosystem? We can't hear you. Is
Now, sorry. Axtel is a telco and technology company. We usually do strategic foresight exercise each 5 years to understand which are the main trends that will impact us. And we're looking for scale-ups and startups mainly in IoT, AI, big data, cybersecurity, and mobile. We're updating these technologies this year, but mainly we're looking in Israel for cybersecurity. We know that you're like the best in class in the world for cybersecurity. And also we know that Israel is one of the biggest tech and entrepreneurial hubs around the world. So this year we started with the cybersecurity, and then we hope changing to other of these trends too.
okay. Thank you very much. Danny, can you say, you want me to repeat or it's okay?
No, it's okay. I think that the main thing that we are looking for here in Israel is to be part since the beginning of what is happening in terms of innovation here. Grupo Bimbo is looking for technologies that, like I said previously, that covers all the value chain of the company, and being specifically here, established here in Israel, gives us an advantage to see what technologies are developing constantly for this in terms of food tech, agri-tech, cyber, clean technologies, sustainability, which are I think the main big topics that we are looking here in the company. We understand that Israel is one of the biggest innovation ecosystems in the world, and having put a foot here, it assures us that we will be on top of the baking industry still for a long time.
Okay, I'll continue with you and then I'll pass to Sophia. Can you share with us what is the methodology that you are using here in Israel to connect, to find, to be involved in this ecosystem?
Sure. Like I said, I have two main objectives. One is to understand this innovation ecosystem so I can build a long-term strategy for Grupo Bimbo to continue to have presence here in Israel. And the other one is to scout for new technologies. And the main methodology that we use is first, with the help of Nogaplus, because this is important. Being an outsider in the innovation ecosystem is difficult to begin alone. It is evidently needed to have a partner who knows how to handle the innovation ecosystem. And in this case, Nogaplus has been a very important part for us. So, so the idea is first of all, understand exactly what are the needs internally of Grupo Bimbo. And once I have clear what are the needs, we started to search for companies and startups that have those specific technologies. I normally do a very quick brief search and read about the company, and if I think that it can have a good fit and match, I normally talk to the entrepreneur first. I either go to see it if I can with the conditions here in the world has been complicated. So since I've arrived here, most of my meetings has been via Zoom digitally. So I have this first conversation with them, and if I'm completely sure that what they provide, the service, the technology, the product they have is completely aligned to what we are looking for, then what I then do is to transfer that information into the responsible inside of Grupo Bimbo of the topic. Can be Industry 4.0, can be sustainability, can be quality, can be health and wellness, R&D, whatever the topic it is. I turn around to the responsible within Grupo Bimbo and introduce the product to them. If they think that it can be a good idea to take a look at it, I arrange a first meeting with them. And if internally they think that it would be a good idea to create either a POC or a pilot, then we begin to the process of signing an NDA and prepare the ground to make this pilot or POC. In other cases, if we see that we need to act quick in terms of being the first, of being part of the technology, we might offer being part of the startup by investing in the startup itself. And that's another way of collaborating with entrepreneurs and being part of the ecosystem. So, okay.
Great, thank you. Yes, yes, a lot of information. Sophie, you are doing a little bit different, your way to connect with the ecosystem out there from Mexico, even from Monterrey. Can you share it with us? How do you connect and how do you see this connection?
Sure. I think usually how we work in scouting is as Daniela is mentioning, but in this case, because of COVID and we're all the other way around the world, and it's the first time we work with Israeli companies, what we did is focus on just one topic, that is cybersecurity. So we created a core team, and in the core team is the CISO of the company. There's the product team that launches new cyber products, and the innovation team. So together we did this core team, and we united with Rina, and Rina is like our main eyes in Israel. We selected some subtopics on the cybersecurity space because we know it's really, really big and more in Israel. And after understanding that and speaking with several experts of cybersecurity in Israel, that Rina helped us connect them, we started looking for these technologies. There, Nogaplus is introducing us around 30 technologies during 4 months. And we work with Monday. We get to see each company and we read the brief. And if we're interested and it aligns, we have a first call with this core team. And then at the end, we will present 5 of these companies to our board of directors. So that's like the strategy we're following for this specific cybersecurity strategy in Israel.
Yes, I think that by the end we will have more than 5 out of the, but that's our scope. Great. Daniela started to talk a little bit about it. I would like to go a little bit deeper inside in the issue of how to implement or how to connect really these technologies that we have find with the group or with the corporate or with the different areas, because based on our experience, this is one of the hardest points. Is I'm sure that you will decide what is better for the company and each, your core team at Axel, and then with their team, they all know and can filter what's better for the company. But after this filter, it has to go into the company. And that's the pain, it's a pain point. So, Sophie, you would like to start now from your side to tell us a little bit how you introduce them, or maybe in your case, you also resell these solutions.
Yes, sorry, I didn't hear really well. It's just to say how we connect the ideas or the companies of the entrepreneurs to internal areas, right? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes, so we usually also, before scouting, we go with each business area and with some main customers to understand what are their priorities or what are their pain points for this or the following years. So we do an interview, and once we understand better what they need, we go and look for these technologies. So usually we look around the world with a global scouting, but we hadn't been looking a lot in Israel. This is the first year we're doing something specific for Israel in the cybersecurity. So in this case, it's very scoped. There's a team, and we already know what they need, and we connect them. And if they're interested, we continue with a POC or a pilot. And in the typical process we do is similar. Once we know, we start searching for several companies. As Daniela was saying, we interview them as the innovation team, and if we see it might connect with any of the internal areas of our customers, we introduce them to them. We do these like connections, and if they're interested, we also try to do a POC with them through our NAVE program.
Okay, great. Thank you. Daniela?
Yes, I think I'm gonna talk about what we have done with startups in Mexico and in Latin America and United States, because right now I am studying in Israel, and I do not have had just yet a good story to tell about this connection. But what we have been doing with startups in Mexico is that when we found something that we can leverage from, so for example, I'm gonna talk about specifically of a company, a Mexican company that it's run by two people from Venezuela, and they developed a VR system, okay, to have augmented reality. The company is called Virtuel, okay? And what they have been helping us develop, once we understood the technology and what they could do with it, we saw the potential to develop a software with their augmented reality to train the drivers of the company. So all the sellers, all the people who sell the product in Mexico City that drives a minivan or drives a very big truck that moves the product from one part of the country to another, they need to have a very special training so they can do this. And the training that they have had over the years has been complicated and expensive, and you have to do it physically and on a very big space. So with the help of Virtuel, we invested in the company, okay? And we are part of their team with the idea of having a win-win situation between the two, between Grupo Bimbo and between the startups. So the idea is for us to help them to continue to grow up and scale up. We provide all the resources that they might need from us, from Grupo Bimbo. So we help them not only if they have legal concerns, labor concerns, maybe management concerns that we can help them. And these not only help them to understand more or less the business, but also to be more entrepreneurial, to grow the capability of being a better entrepreneur. Because I think that most of the startups have very, very, very bright minds. I mean, the ones that they create, the products have very bright minds, but sometimes they lack a bit more of managerial capabilities. And that's when we try to help them. So specifically with Virtuel, we already have a software that it's like a screen, like you see in front of your computer. They have a steering wheel. You know, it is a device that allows them to sit down, like if they were in a car or in a truck, and they put the VR system, yeah, like a simulator, and they can begin their training, right? So this is one of the many things that we have done with startups. We can also do commercial agreements, service agreements. Sometimes we do the JVs, and if we see that there is a big potential, we might think of acquiring the company or the product or the service.
Okay, great. Sophie, there's an example you want to share with us?
Yeah, sure. I will share. Well, I'll tell about two technologies quickly. One is RPA, that we're using it to automatize. You say automatize? I'm not sure. to yes, to make automatic some processes. Each time we needed to put in the system a new service provider, it was very manual. So now we have like RPA robots, digital robots that do this online. And instead of taking a week, we take practically minutes, and they connect with the different institutions in Mexico to see that the account is actually in the bank, that they are paying taxes, etc. That is one case that we're using internally. And externally, we are and we have IoT services for our customers. We have an IoT platform. So what we brought is one company that is from Texas, that they develop proprietary hardware that helps transport. If you're transporting any high value asset, there's a big problem in Mexico of theft of this type of high value assets while they transport them. So it is an IoT device that you put it in the cargo, and you can track it every time with GPS where it is, and just the adequate person can open it at the adequate time and place. So we are working with this IoT devices and connecting them with our SIMs and our IoT platform. And we are selling it to our oil and gas customers and our high value asset transportation customers.
Right. Thank you. Okay, and now coming back to Israel and the Latin American corporates working with Israeli entrepreneurs, startups, scale-ups. What is your, you are a few months working with them, also Sofia and also Daniela. What is your impression on two points? One is their level. How are they developed or are a good level, medium level, or not good at all? Is one issue. And the other issue I would like to say, how easy is to connect with them at a level as cooperating with them. Yes, so let's start first with what do you think about the level of technologies that the startups you have been seeing are until now? Let's start with Daniela.
Well, here in Israel, I can tell you for sure that what I am seeing here, it's out of this world. Okay, there are some of the things that I cannot necessarily believe that it's happening, and it is complicated to absorb the information that I'm receiving from here and then translate it to Mexico. Okay, because it's so advanced in some of the things that I see.
So let me see if I understood. So you say that you see a lot of very or thing, but your team or the people in Mexico, it's not always they are on the same pace or understand the same things that you do understand when you see it from here.
Exactly. Now, there are some industries in the country that are more advanced than others. Okay, so for example, cybersecurity, the automotive industry are very advanced. Okay, comparing to the food tech industry, which is, I think, has like around 6 years of developing within the country, there are a bit more companies that are very early stage just yet. And so you have to balance that. You have to understand that different industries are going to be in different maturity levels.
Okay, thank you. Sophia, what do you think, based on these 2 months of experience.
Yes, I have little experience and I haven't been to Israel. We were going this year, but it was impossible. But what I can say from my point of view, in the technology standpoint, well, I can say from the team because I'm not that an expert on cybersecurity, but the CISO and the team is. They have been, their feedback has been that most of these companies we're seeing, the people behind it have like 20, 30 years of experience in military and a lot of experience in it, which makes it that the company is very robust and the technology that they create is unique, or if it's not unique, it has a high value added. Because some of the companies right now, like cybersecurity is a boom. There's a lot of technologies around the world, and the cybersecurity team hears a lot of the same. And maybe what we've seen in Israel is that the companies are very robust and the technology is another level. And the people that we've spoken with, there's around like 5 startups. You're called startups in Israel. In Mexico, I think you're called scale-ups. Some of them are like already have revenues of $7 million. They're around the world. They have like Fortune 500 customers. So they're doing pretty impressive stuff, and the technology, I think, is very, very high level and very robust.
Okay. Okay, thank you very, very much. I would like now to go to the Q&A part, but before that, there's something that I didn't ask, but this is free, and maybe you can comment or you can say something. Sofia, Daniela?
No, I think that from my point of view, I have just been here for like around five months, and it has been interesting because of the global conditions. My way of interacting has not been as we planned. So, but either way, I think that the introduction to this innovation ecosystem, especially for me, has allowed me to widen my scope in terms of what we can do, not only as a company, but as persons. I think there is a lot of opportunities to leverage from the technologies that are building not only here in Israel, but also in other ecosystems, innovations ecosystems of the world. This is just one, but I think that the opportunity is bigger. Right.
Okay. Sophia?
I didn't, is that another question?
No, just wanted to see if you want to add anything. If not, I will go to the Q&As.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
We have been like 1 month working with Nogaplus. I think I don't have that much information yet, and I haven't been to Israel, as I said, but what we're seeing, we're liking it, and we think there's a lot of potential there, and we look further to exploring more opportunities in Israel.
Okay, great. So I have here one question that is for Daniela. It was written at the beginning. It says, after establishing, David is asking, David, are you there? Can you raise your hand? Okay. After establishing in Israel, how you create a network to be informed about the disruptive innovation and contact Bimbo with the startups?
Yes, that's a good question, and I think I tried to explain it, right? But there are many ways you can do this. One is with the help of a strategic partner. In this case, for me, is Nogaplus, but you can also make a lot of marketing noise. That's another way of you can do it. You can arrive here. You can publish a note that a big company has arrived. So all the attention can be straight and directly to you. And what I have been doing also is trying to log into specific log into specific communities. So in different industries, there are a lot of communities that speak about what is happening within the industry. So I am part of the Industry 4.0 and the food tech, and the idea is to myself to be immersed into those communities, to have feedback of whatever is happening here. But right now, I am trying to go a little bit more low profile, so I do not generate a lot of unmet expectations. So I'm trying to first to understand my way in, and then I will try to build up a bit more on the marketing side. I hope I did answer your question.
This is a question for you both. When you both, Axel and Bimbo, do this kind of innovation, do you focus on creating solutions for bettering your business model and operation efficiency, or do you focus on portfolio diversification? Sophia?
In Grupo Bimbo case, it's to improve our processes. It's not necessarily a way of creating portfolio or a financial objective. It's more to improve what we inside Grupo Bimbo have.
In our case, it's a bit different. For one side,
Came back from a search.
Can you hear me? Yes. So from Axtel, something I forgot to tell you is we are working on digital transformation, like everybody is right now, helping companies digitalize themselves and being more productive and efficient. So through these innovation initiatives, we do it for Axtel to be more productive and efficiency, but mainly creating new digital services in our portfolio for our corporate customers, for them to have this. For example, Bimbo has a very robust program on innovation, as you saw, but there's other customers of us that don't have an innovation program. So we serve as an arm to bring these new technologies as this virtual reality or IoT or AI or whatever type of digital services that can help them digitalize their chain if they don't have an innovation program.
Okay. There is another question. In both cases, Daniel and Sofia established for R&D permanently or just for a period of time? I don't know what exactly means establishing R&D permanently. David is...
I can speak. Okay, yes. My question is if Daniel and Sofia established in Israel in a way in which they will be there many years, or they will be just only 1 year and looking for company, for technology to connect, in both cases, the headquarters with the startup in Israel. That's my question. Is this a permanently approach or just a temporary approach of a period of time? Okay? Thank you.
Okay. I can start if you want. In our case, it's still very new for us. I don't know if it's something permanent or not. We're starting with one technology, exploring how it goes. And based on that, we can start growing on it, because also there's several things to think about when working with Israel companies. We need to think about the different things, that it's the first time we're gonna do it. So we hope everything, we're hoping for it to go great, for us to keep on growing other technologies and thinking on going to Israel, as Bimbo is already doing it. But for us, it's still very early to know. We have like 1 month working with Israel startups.
In Grupo Bimbo case, I personally, I have an international assignment that can go up to 4 years. But at the moment, I am trying to build this strategy for Grupo Bimbo that will help us to understand how are we gonna be more permanently established in here. At the moment, we do not know just yet if it's gonna be with an R&D center, with a specific partner, with a venture capital fund. There is a lot of options, and we need to choose the better one for Grupo Bimbo.
Okay. There is a
Thank you
question.
both. Yeah, thank you for.
Thank you. There's here another question that is taking us to another place. So I'll read the question, but I will try to redefine. He is who is asking is Pedro Lopez Cela. Pedro, are you there? Can we see you? Okay, I can see you. Thank you, Pedro. I will read your questions and then to approach it a little bit to Israel, because your question is less related to Israel. How do you connect with the tech entrepreneurship ecosystem in LatAm? That's part of the question. And then you say there have been several and fruitful efforts to connect researchers from the academia and patents to corporates in Mexico. So the community is now looking into the Asian ecosystem, help of hard tech ventures and Mexico-China Center. I will answer from the Israeli perspective, what is happening here in the relationship between the academia and the industry. And then I'll be happy to hear what Sofia and Daniela has to say. Here in Israel, there is a really good connection between the academy and the industry. There are governmental programs that they fund this kind of relationship. And they also invite multinational companies to come into the academia and point out what are their needs, so the academia can work on applied research and not only on the theoretical part. So we have had a lot of even Nobel Prizes that are now being used in the pharma, for example. So in Israel, there is a very good connection between these areas. And there are also spin-off coming out from the academia. There are very good offices of transference of technology, who all the big universities in Israel have them, and they do a very good work to connect the academy and the patents that are from the academy with the industry, so they can do work together. And out there come some spin-off companies that are being getting out of these inventions. Daniela, Sofia, you want to add something?
I think that what I would add is I understand that it has been complicated, because I know for a fact, with trying to work with entrepreneurs in Latin America, that they have had a hard time trying to connect with corporates. And I think that it's because of the maturity level of the innovation ecosystem of each country. So I would add that, for example, here, like Rina said, everything is connected. Academia, startups, governments, multinational, everything is connected, because that is the way the country works. That is how the economy moves here in Israel. As if we compare it to Mexico or to Chile or to Colombia or to Peru, the countries are not necessarily, the governments and the academia and what is happening with the entrepreneurs are not yet connected, and they do not have an idea of how to do it just yet, or they are beginning to collaborate. So it is important, I think, to understand the maturity level of the innovation ecosystem of each country to see what is the best way to move within that country. I don't know if maybe that can help.
Yes, thank you. We have one more minute, Sophia, if you want to add this, please, and then I'll start to close so we can stand on our time frame.
I think I agree with both of you. I think it has to do with the maturity of the ecosystem. I think in Mexico and Chile and other LatAm countries, a lot of things have been done trying to do these ecosystems. And for example, here in Monterrey specifically, right now they have an initiative of the MIT REAP to do an to convert Monterrey, that is a city in Mexico, in an ecosystem and entrepreneurship. But when us as a tech company started looking for tech entrepreneurs, we started with Mexico, then with LatAm, then with the US and Canada, and now Israel. So what we've seen is that the tech is good in Mexico. There are some great startups, but it's still not as good, or there's not as many as when you go outside to maybe an Israel or a Canada. There's still a lot of things to work on. But we have been getting better on the years. And right now with the new government, it's a bit harder. And what had started to connect, now it's disconnected again. So in all these countries, it has a lot to do with the new government in place, the new people thinking in academia and their way of thought, right?
Okay, thank you very, very much. I want to start to thanking the Nogaplus team. I think we have Rachel that she's under Noga, if you can put the camera. And we have Mariana also. And we have Arie, who is also helping us with that these things happen. So we will, that's Mariana, we will invite you for our series of this kind of webinars. You will receive information from us. And finally, I have to apologize because I see that there were more other questions that we didn't have enough time to answer them. So we'll try to connect whoever wants a specific answer. And I think that we can put our information mails if you want us to connect or to give your connections with whoever here is participating, with Daniela, with Sophia, whoever you are interested. And thank you very much. I think we are exactly 1 minute after the time.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.